Alrighty then, good afternoon everybody, Silver Dragon here, coming at you with some Kerbal Space Program. Please do ignore the various, well, graphical effects in the background. That is from a mod I had previously had installed for the previous version. Unfortunately, it does not work properly with this version, but that's okay. So for the most part, we're going to be focusing on vanilla Kerbal Space Program. It has updated, so we're update, what is this update? Update 0.42 or something like that? Yeah, no, 0.42, 0.24. Okay. So 0.24, the new update, has added contracts now. So we do have, each part we have now costs money. And we have to really, you know, be careful with how much we're spending on certain things. So let me start this up here. I'm going to resume my new game right here. No flights in progress. Alright, so you have three different options when creating a game now. There's sandbox mode, where everything is free. There's science mode, where you don't have to worry about contracts. It's only science you have to worry about. And now we have full-on career mode, which is, you know, money, science, everything. At the very top here you can see the new indicator for my budget, my science, how much a rocket is costing. Each of that will be up here. Top right corner we have my current contracts, and right this little notice here will indicate when I've completed each contract. Now this tiny little building right behind here, it's kind of hard to see, but it's a tiny little building back here that holds our new contracts. Now, I already selected every single one of these. Now, to begin with, when you first start out, you have these four objectives. Launch a vessel, reach an altitude of 5,000 meters, escape the atmosphere, and orbit Kerbal. Now, you can complete all of these objectives in a single go very easily. And I'm going to kind of show that off. Afterwards, it's supposed to generate some random objectives based on what's going on. So we're going to try this. We're going to check it out. Now, if you take a look here, if I actually click on these, each objective has their, you know, the prestige. So it's very trivial, this objective. It's very easy. Let's see, I can decline it if I want to. It should have a, let's see here, a failure. So if I fail it, if I can't do that, then I would have to suffer a $2,000 hit to my funds. And I get a 1,800 advance for that. On completion, I'll get almost 5 grand, 4,500, 5 science, and 11 prestige. Same thing for this. Got some failure. Now I'm certain some of these will probably have time limits as well. I do not believe any of these ones do, and now you can see that they have different agents. The Kerbal World First Record Keeping Society. Escape the atmosphere, I'm going to get 15 science, 95 prestige, and 29,000. And orbit Kerbal is 59,000, 30 science, and 142 prestige. So, some really good stuff. Now, the interesting thing about this objective here, escape the atmosphere is literally escape into the atmosphere. But this one gives you a specific additional objective. Like, you can't just orbit. You have to get at least a minimum prolapsus orbit higher than 70,000 meters. So, 70 kilometers. That should be pretty easy. Should be pretty easy. So let me close this up. Of course, we still have our science facility, our training facility where we can hire more Kerbals, which we may need to do so more often now. Our planes, satellite, and finally our building and launch. Now, I've already created a little rocket, so I can kind of show you guys. Let me load. Autosave ship. Now, this is a pretty basic ship. It's just a little liquid of course, let me actually get up top here. We have our single capsule. I don't want to add triple capsules like I used to do for science mode just because, you know, weight management is a major thing now. We have our little parachute with it. I have 2 cylinders of liquid fuel and a liquid fuel engine. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stages. Well, 6 base stages of solid fuel rockets. And then 1 booster stage of solid fuel rockets right in the beginning. So I'm going to start off with these 4 going, and once I get really close to exploding, I'm going to initiate this guy, which will speed up the process and destroy all of them a lot faster. So basically I'm staging by blowing up the next stage, with like leaving just enough fuel left to blow up the next stage. Now if I look at the bottom here, I can see that this whole thing is costing me 5,972, this rocket. And I currently have an additional budget of 3,000 or 36,000 funds. that I could spend. I could go symmetry mode or check and see the center of thrust and the center of mass and stuff like that, but not really that necessary. So I'm already just going to launch this. Oh, wait. Ah, crap. I always forget that one stage. Drives me nuts. I keep forgetting to stage out the parachute because it doesn't properly seem to stage things now. So I have to make sure that everything is staged properly myself. So let's drag that down. Make sure I put thrust out to max. This thrust actually does start off at halfway now, which is good. So I'm going to initialize SAS and launch. I have to kind of, it immediately starts to turn a bit. I have to kind of counter that by hitting Q to rotate it back to the left. So I want to keep it dead center, and I want to follow the line here on the right. You can see it's overheating already. It should start to slow down near the end. And then I'll initiate the second burn once it gets close to it. Get ready for it, get ready for it. And now. So that gives me an initial thrust to help get this thing up here quickly. Gets me almost to 5K, just those 4 engines. Let me kind of angle myself back. I have my gravity, or this little circle needs to be dead center as I can get it. Now you can see this, my speed is significantly decreasing now. I'm kind of off-centering myself a lot right now. I'm kind of fumbling around. It's my bad. It's my bad. Oh shit, I screwed up. Ah, fuck. I was getting so busy trying to... oh, no, I screwed up completely. Damn it! Revert. Revert. Fuck, pay attention, Silver. Rage! Rage! Okay, let's see. Throttle... whoops. The heck am I doing? Not what I intended to do. There we go. Apologies. Let me go to the orbit map. That should keep SAS on constantly so I have to keep a finger on it. Alright, now I can concentrate just on flying this beast and properly staging it. Now that's the thing, if you have to make sure that you stage this thing properly, if you don't, you're suddenly carrying a huge mass of dead weight that's going to significantly slow you down. You're going to drop like a rock, and then you would have to burn additional fuel to make up for that whole, you know, the amount of speed you're now, you know, going towards the surface at. So you really got to be careful with the staging here. That is the one thing that you got to do perfectly here with this build. So that time I staged it perfectly. I kept it stable. I didn't let it go out of control like I did before. Now that I didn't have to hold down the SAS button. So you just hold F, click on orbit, and it will keep the SAS enabled. There is a way you're supposed to like double click it or something, and it does that. But I've never been able to get it to work properly, or very rarely been able to get that to work properly. Okay, almost ready. Okay, good enough. Even if I don't do it quite perfectly and a little bit of fuel was wasted, that's alright. As long, the most important thing is we cannot let it not explode. If it does, we're screwed. Basically, we're completely screwed. So, I do not believe, at about 10,000 meters, so you want to generally burn straight up until 10,000 meters and then bank to the right to about a 50-45 degree angle, give or take. That's mostly for liquid fuel rockets, though. Just because that helps to keep the efficiency of the fuel up. You can, like, if you burned all your liquid fuel straight up, you would get maybe a third of the distance you would do if you banked at 10K. Now, since these are solid fuel boosters, I don't really think I need to bank that much. I don't believe they gain any fuel economy from following the gravity of the planet. So, more than likely I'm going to bank to about a 60-75 degree angle. Okay, burn it. Okay, 10K, bank to the right. Always try and follow the line, and it'll help you create a nice smooth orbit. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it to about, let's say 65 for now. Until I use up the solid fuel. And that would also help me get the, well, actually I should probably bank it properly, because if I do, then I can get a good orbit. I'll keep it at 60 for now, though. Okay, burn. Close, 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 close. But once we get up a certain distance here, you can see our atmosphere as we're getting really close to space here. It's decreasing. It's getting harder to maintain myself behind the circle here. We're at 20,000 meters. We're getting up there. Alright, we're doing pretty well so far here. He's having a grand time, old Jebediah. He's happy as can be. Okay, burn it. Ooh, perfect. Now, I want to gain as much speed as I can. to assist out the liquid. Why are you there again? Oh yeah, because I had to restage you again because I reset it. I forgot about that. I always screw that up. I would not want to deploy my parachute right now. That would be bad. That would be real bad. I would basically be screwed again because of that. So, again, another plus. Stage properly. Now, the liquid fuel engine, keep it on max, and you're going to want to burn it ahead of time because it takes a lot longer for the liquid fuel engine to destroy a solid fuel engine than it does for a solid fuel to destroy a solid fuel. So, now I'm going to immediately cut down my thrust just enough so I'm still increasing, but, you know, enough that I'm not going to be burning up a lot of fuel really quickly here. Let's see. That's about 100... Now I'm going to bank down to the line here and assist in getting a much more stable orbit. Let me burn full on for a second here. I can slow down a second here, take a look and see how it's doing. Oh, we're way, way higher than I would like to be, but that's alright. So I'm going to quickly go up to the Apo here. Apoapsis, whatever it's called. And there we go, 200 and 200. So now I can see I need to do a... where is it? 600 meter a second burn on this little target right here, the little blue target that's showing my node in 5 minutes and 14 seconds. So while I'm up here, though, I might as well get some additional science. So let's do a crew report from right here. Get some 5 science. I'm going to quickly EVA this guy and get an EVA report. Another 8 science. Reboard hitting F. I believe that's, was it exterior vehicular activity, something like that? I don't know, something along those lines. Either way. Now that we're up here, I'm going to speed up the game a little bit. Use this warp. Okay. So we got 5 times, 10 times, 50 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times, and I think 100,000 times. Do not use the last 2 warps. Unless you're going from, like, here to Mars or, you know, somewhere far, far away, you don't really want to use these 2, or at least the second to last one very, very lightly. Like, quickly tap it, then tap away, because otherwise you're going to miss your locations. Now, I like to burn about half of it right before we reach the node, so let's burn about half of it right now. Some people say a quarter, some people say half. I'm just going to burn half. So there we go, half before and then half after the node. This helps to keep it a bit stable along the node, so that I get a proper, keep a proper line. Because if you burn, you know, right on the dot and you don't have enough thrust really to begin with, it's like really slow, then you might not be able to. Oh, I went over, but that's okay. All we really needed was the orbit. Now you can see at the top right corner here, I've gotten a lot of notices while I was doing this. We have, of course, my little fund indicator here that I just acquired. All these different funds now. The fuel indicator, the contract indicator. So we have all these notices now. Congratulations, you completed this contract. You've orbited. You've escaped the atmosphere. You've blah, 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 blah. So I've done everything. Yay! Now I can pretty much just go around the atmosphere if I wanted to. You know, just have fun. Let's do another EVA report if I can. I don't think I can, really. It'll just overwrite the other one. Bored anyway. Alright, now that that's done with, I want to head back down. So I'm just going to aim myself straight down and then burn. I could go against the gravity well, I suppose would work as well. It's probably the smarter idea. It's the way you're really supposed to do it. So, let me do it the way I'm supposed to do it. So this little X here is basically the opposite direction that we're going right now. So if I burn there, hopefully I have enough fuel to do this. I'm going to have to burn all my fuel and hope it's enough. Yep, it was. Okay, looks like we're going to be landing in the mountainous region. Hopefully I won't destroy myself. It's going to be close. I really hope we're okay here. So, basically, if you want to go straight down, you just burn in this direction. It'll slow down your orbit. And you can head straight down. Okay. So, let me kind of speed this up here. I'm hoping and praying this is going to succeed, because I don't have any fuel to really change it. So, we should be reaching the burn atmosphere pretty soon here. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Luckily, thank God that the atmosphere itself does not, as of yet, do damage again. That would be maybe a later update, because you'd have to make heat shields for your ship, and I would suck at that. I would hate to have to do that. Although I'd probably just make a heat shield on the front with some decouplers, but to begin with, like, your ships would die constantly from that, I'm sure. I don't know. Or at least you'd have to have some extra layers somewhere just to have it let it deteriorate a little bit. Okay, we should be approaching the atmospheric layer. You see this little blue one here. That's where we should start burning. And then we reach the next one where we get a kind of like hit the air layer. Here we go. The burn begins. And this slows us down significantly, enough that we can land easily. Like, I've actually gone 6,000 plus meters a second towards the surface, and it's slowed me down to the point, like, every time of being able to land. You can imagine just the damage and that all this fire here is doing. All this friction from entering the atmosphere at 1,000 meters a second, or 2,000 meters a second. Okay, we're reaching the next atmospheric layer. You can see that it starts to slow it down further with this kind of air current here. And at this point, I suppose I can deploy my chute now. It's quite a bit early before it'll actually deploy. It'll hit around the 500 meter range. It'll actually deploy and slow me down to about 12 meters a second, give or take. More than likely, I'm thinking my engine's going to be destroyed. Everything up to my cockpit may be destroyed on the landing. Unfortunately, I don't start off with landing legs. I can sort of create them using, what's it called? Struts, if I wanted to, if I need to. But yeah, and I like to use the SAS here now just to kind of adjust myself straight down, just so I hit perfectly on. The last thing I really want to do is roll. Now, that once you land, I'm going to kind of toss the ship over. I'm going to EVA out, and I'm going to take a soil sample to get some additional science. Yep, we're slowed down to about 10 meters a second. Nice. Now, how fast you hurtle to the surface depends on what you have left on your ship. Like, all this mass I have left on here is what's causing me to hurtle this quickly. Like, if I just had the module, I might be going, I don't know, like 5-6 meters a second maybe, but I don't know if that's enough that it wouldn't do damage and destroy the thing on landing. So these are basically just, you know, buffers now between the landing and the possible destruction of the pod, because the pod has to survive. That is the big thing. The pod must survive. It has my Kerbal, has all my data, my science data. Also, if you lose a Kerbal, you would lose a lot of prestige and such with this. So let's see here. Yep, just the engine that got destroyed. We're going to tip over here. I'm going to make it. Oh, no. Okay, we use Q and E to kind of turn it so that the hatch is facing the surface, making it easy for him to get back in. Okay, I'm going to EVA now. I'm going to hit space to let go. Yay, we're rocking on the surface of this foreign planet. So I'm going to right-click on it. I could plant a flag if I want to, but I really don't want to. So I'm going to take a science report. This is a surface sample from the Kerbal Highlands. Now, there's various biomes around Kerbal where you can get different readings. So it's good to come on out here, do a report, grab it, and then board back up. Because there was a different type of sample of report, I was able to keep it. Let me see if I can do another different crew report here. No, I don't want to overwrite the existing crew report. The existing one is better. So now that that's done, we're landed, we're safe, we're good to go. I can now recover the vessel by going up here or going to the Space Center and doing it, but I'm just going to recover it from here. So we're going to recover that beast. And there we go. We got every single objective done in one go. We can see that this is our new completion thing here. Now I can see I got 5 science from a crew report in space near Kerbal. I got 8 science from a EVA report. I got 9 for a surface sample, 2.4 for a EVA report, and finally the recovery of the vessel after it returned to Kerbal from Kerbal orbit gained me both data value, and yeah, science. So yeah, that's pretty nice. We gained additional science and as well as what we gained from our actual mission. So next, and then we go right here, we have parts. All the parts that we used up, whether or not they were recovered or destroyed. Let's see, we gained 814.49 funds from recovered parts. So, it is really important to try and make sure that your parts survive now. So, I'm going to be actually adding a lot of parachutes soon, like a lot of radial parachutes, so that when they disconnect, I wish the one thing I would like now is a delay timer. To be able to assign certain parts a delay timer. Because if I disconnect a object from my ship and immediately deploy a parachute, I don't know how quickly that's going to react. So it'll be debatable. I'll have to do a lot of testing with parachutes and objects. More than likely what I'm going to do is I'm going to take like a long cylindrical, well, cylindrical obviously. I guess I'll show an example here in a minute. We can see my current funds in total from all that. You can see the crew, he survived. I gained 24 reputation because of that. Total reputation now is 283. Nice. Now if I go into here, I can start unlocking basic rocketry, which gives me my first decoupler, so I no longer have to destroy each engine to get through it. And I also get the mystery goo container for additional science. I definitely want the radial parachute now. Do I have a decoupler with this, though? Well, just that decoupler. But yes, the radial parachute and the landing legs will assist me, as well as another liquid fuel engine. And we'll also go for this guy right here if I can. Yeah, I have enough science for that. Ooh, an important one. Do I have enough for it? Ooh, I'm just a bit off. Just a bit off. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm immediately going to go to launch the same craft, except let me... Actually, no, cancel that for a second. Let me go in here for a second. I'm going to kind of remove all of this, since I'm just doing a really basic thing here. Actually, I'm not even going to have this here. I'm just going to remove all that. Start deployed. I want all these to start deployed. That way we have our basic little ship here. Okay. Now let's see here. We'll go science. I'll get my mystery goo here. I guess I can have 4 of them. I really don't only need 1, but hey. So I'll add 2. We'll milk as much as we can out of this initial... Oh, I see. There we go. Okay. I don't have any way to climb up that, do I? No stairs or nothing. Nope. No, sir. That's okay. Okay. Let's go launch. Even though we're not going anywhere. Alright, so let's observe the mystery goo. Keep the data. Observe the next goo. Keep the data. I want to do a crew report. And do a quick EVA report. Now let's retract this leg. Which will cause me to tip over here. Or I'll force myself to. There we go. Hatch is obstructed. Damn. I was hoping I'd be able to get out there and take a surface sample as well, but nope. Alright, we're going to recover the vessel quickly. Hopefully we should regain all that we spent on that. Part value. Yep, we covered 4,000 parts. Okay, good. They were generally undamaged. And we gained enough science to unlock the next bit. So, yay! So, this is an important one that I get all the time. It also apparently has the Kethane module, even though it said it was disabled. Weird. Anyway, it has 3 of my most important objects in the game to me. It has the strut connector, which is used to keep your ship from falling apart, from shaking itself apart. It has the launch stability enhancer, which you can attach to the side of the ship and disengage, allowing it to, you know, not have to sustain the weight of it on the engines, which is ridiculous at times. And the radial decoupler, which is my favorite decoupler. Alright, so with that, we've unlocked a whole lot of stuff that I can... At this point, I could probably make it to the moon with what I have, pretty much. essentially. Now that we've completed the initial objective, we unlocked all these new random missions here. Let's see, science data from the space around Kerbin. We want you to send us science data from space around Kerbin. Duration, 5 years. So I have 5 years to complete this. Transmit or recover science data from space around Kerbin. For that I would get 27,000. I would get 1 science and 164 rep. Test the MK-16 parachute in flight over Kerbin. Perform a test. Activate the part through the staging sequence when all test conditions are met. I need to test it. Kerbin, flying. Altitude of... what is it? So basically I need to deploy it between an altitude of 9,100 meters and 17,000 meters at a speed of about 350 to 450 meters, which is essentially what I would get from coming back in orbit. Now we also have the radial mounted parachute, which wants to be tested. And I only have a year for this, and it expires in 2 days, so I'd have to, if I accept this mission, I have to complete it within a year, but I only have 2 days to take this mission. So I have to make sure that it lands on Kerbin so I can recover it. A solid fuel booster. Now there's a lot of ways I can do this. Again, that's what I want to test. I want to be able to throw a bunch of the... what's it called? Actually, what is the RT-10? Is that my initial solid fuel booster? Let me take a look at my parts here. Let's see. This is the fuel tank. The RT-10. So yeah, it is the initial one. So I could complete that, but a lot of these, of course, you can see, they're not really... oh, let me go back. They're not really that worth it to go out of my way to bother trying to do it. So, test the decouplers, I plan on it. The radial decouplers, I plan on it. So I'm gonna test both of these within that certain range. And that would gain me a lot of cash. Rescue Comfort Kerman from Kerbin. Let's see, who is stuck in orbit around Kerbin. Return him safely to Kerbin. That is a big one. This is a big one. This is a significant prestige mission. Expires in 5 hours, actually, rather than 5, a couple days. So this is a pretty crazy one. With what I have now, I could do this. It is interesting trying to do this objective. I don't have any RCS though, I don't think. And RCS is very important for doing this kind of objective. So I honestly am not sure if I could complete that without RCS. Test liquid fuel engine on a suborbital trajectory over Kerbin. Activate the parts through staging sequences while all test conditions are met. In Kerbin, suborbit trajectory, altitude of about 78 to 90 kilometers. Explore the moon. And for that I would gain a lot. A lot. Prestige is exceptional. Achieve an orbit around the moon would gain me a completion bonus of 15k. I can get transmitter recover the data from the moon, which give me another additional 15k. Landing on the moon to get me 22k. And then I can transmit or recover scientific data from the surface of the moon for additional 15k. So in other words, it wants me to land, it wants me to take back off and head back home. I could do it. It would be difficult, but I could probably do it. But I think I'm going to save this for another time. This is pretty much a short video to show off, the basics of this system, how I can get all 4 of the initial ones done in a single go, and so on and so forth. So, thank you very much, guys, for watching. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Definitely let me know what you think if you want me to. And if enough people are interested in this, I will continue it. But we'll just have to see how many people are interested. And I'll probably delete all those mods as well and go complete vanilla so I can get rid of all that and not be cluttering up the, the eyes, as it were. So, thank you for watching, guys. Have yourselves a great one, and I will see you all another time with some more KSP, if you're intrigued. Peace out, everybody.